की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 6, The Killing of the Demon Putana. Texts 39 and 40. Payamsi yasam apibat. Payamsi yasam apibat. Putra sneha snutani alam. Putra sneha sutan yalam. Bhagavan Devaki Putraha. Bhagavan Devaki Putraha. Kaivalya Adi Akhila Pradaha. Kaivalyadya Akhila Pradaha. Tasam Aviratam Krishne. Tasam Aviratam Krishne. Kurvatinam Suta Ikshanam. Kurvatinam Sutekshanam. Na Punaha Kalpate Rajan. Na Puna Kalpate Rajan. Samsaraha Ajnana Sambhavaha. Samsaro Jnana Sambhavaha. Payamsi Yasam Apibat. Putra Sneha Snutanyalam. Bhagavan Devaki Putraha. Kaivalyadya Akhila Pradaha. Tasam Aviratam Krishne. Kurvatinam Sutekshanam. Na Puna Kalpate Rajan. Samsaro Jnana Sambhavaha. Payamsi, milk coming from the body. Yasam, of all of whom Apibat, Lord Krishna drank. Putra snehas nutani, that milk coming from the bodies of the gopis, not artificially, but because of maternal affection. Alam, sufficiently. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Devaki Putraha, who appeared as a son of Devaki. Kaivalya Adi, like liberation or merging into the Brahman effulgence. Akila Pradaha, the bestower of all similar blessings. Tasam, of all of them, of all the gopis. Aviratam, constantly. Krishna, onto Lord Krishna. Purvatina, making. Sutta Ikshanam, as a mother looks upon her child. Na, never. Punaha, again. Kalpate, can be imagined. Rajan, O king. O king Parikshit. Samsaraha, the material bondage of birth and death. Ajnana Sambhavaha, which is to be accepted by foolish persons, ignorantly trying to become happy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Vaicharana Arvinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies. Can you repeat the translation? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of the relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies. Purport. The advantage of Krishna consciousness is described herein. Krishna consciousness gradually develops on the transcendental platform. One may think of Krishna as the Supreme Personality. One may think of Krishna as the Supreme Master. One may think of Krishna as the Supreme Friend. One may think of Krishna as the Supreme Son. Or one may think of Krishna as the Supreme Conjugal Lover. If one is connected with Krishna in any of these transcendental relationships, the course of one's material life is understood to have already ended. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti. For such devotees, going back home, back to Godhead is guaranteed. Na puna kalpate rajan samsaro ajnana sambhavaha. This verse also guarantees that devotees who constantly think of Krishna in a particular relationship will never return to this material world. In this material world of samsara, there are the same relationships. One thinks, here is my son, here is my wife, here is my lover, or here is my friend. But these relationships are temporary illusions. Ajnana sambhavaha. Such a consciousness awakens in ignorance. But when the same relationships awaken in Krishna consciousness, one's spiritual life is revived. And one is guaranteed to return home back to Godhead. Even though the gopis who were friends of Rohini and Mother Yashoda and who allowed their breasts to be sucked by Krishna were not directly Krishna's mothers, they all had the same chance as Rohini and Yashoda to go back to Godhead and act as Krishna's mothers-in-law, servants, and so on. The word samsara refers to attachment for one's body, home, husband or wife, and children. But although the gopis and all the other inhabitants of Vrindavan had the same affection and attachment for husband and home, their central affection was for Krishna in some transcendental relationship, and therefore they were guaranteed to be promoted to Goloka Vrindavan in the next life to live with Krishna eternally in spiritual happiness. The easiest way to attain spiritual elevation, to be liberated from this material world, and to go back home, back to God, is recommended by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Krishnera samsara kara chadi anachar. One should give up all sinful activities, chadi anachar, and remain in the family of Krishna, Krishnera samsara kara. Then one's liberation is guaranteed. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 6, Text 40, Text 39 and 40 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here, Shukadeva Goswami is highlighting two features of Krishna as Kaivalya Adi and Akila Pradaha. Bhagavan Devaki Putraha. Bhagavan, referring particularly to Devaki Putra Krishna. So Shukadeva Goswami in glorifying Krishna, addressing Krishna, is saying here, Kaivalya Adi Akila Pradaha. This Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is recognized as, known as, identified as Devaki Putraha. This Bhagavan Devaki Putra, Kaivalya Adi Akila Pradaha, is the bestower of many, many benedictions, Akila Pradaha, including Kaivalya Adi, liberation or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. This is known as Kaivalya. Now, Payamsi Yasam Apibat Putra Sneha Snutani Alam this Supreme Lord, who is the original benedictor of all benedictions, including the most sought after liberation by most of the spiritualists, except the Vaishnavas, who don't give or attach much importance to liberation or merging into the Brahman effulgence. Still, even liberation, which is very much sought after by most of the spiritualists, Krishna is the awarder of such liberation, including Kaivalya. But Krishna can also award many, many benedictions, blessings, very desirable blessings, including becoming his personal associate. Of that Supreme Lord. Now, after qualifying Krishna, he is telling, Paya Amsi Yasam Apibat. This Supreme Lord, who can bless everyone with all kinds of benedictions, he desired to drink the milk from Putra Sneha Snutani Alam. Putra Sneha Snutani. He desired to drink milk from the gopis, who always had maternal love towards Krishna, exactly like Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini, who were the Mother Yashoda was the direct mother of Krishna. Gopis, although they were not the direct mothers, still, exactly like Yashoda and Rohini, they felt maternal love for Krishna. So this feeling is very rare to be attained. Rarest to feel motherly bonding for Lord Krishna. So all the gopis had such motherly bonding, and because of such motherly love which the gopis showered upon Krishna, Krishna desired to drink their breast milk. Payamsi yasam apibat. And here Shukadeva Goswami says alam. He used the word alam. Alam means, in the word-to-word meaning, Prabhupada translates sufficiently. And in the translation, Prabhupada says Krishna drank milk from the gopis to his full satisfaction. Alam. See this words, how Prabhupada carefully translates. Alam means sufficiently, and Prabhupada translates alam as to his full satisfaction. Krishna drank milk from the gopis. Tasam aviratam Krishne kurvatinam sutekshanam. Now, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, because sutekshanam, a very important word. That means, just like a mother looks upon her child with so much affection, all these gopis, they looked upon Krishna in a similar affectionate attitude. So because of the relationship as mother and son, Sutekshanam, Tasam Aviritam Krishne, Sutekshanam Krishna, because of their maternal relationship with Krishna, Tasam Aviritam Kurvatinam, whatever activities they were engaged in their family. Because they also had a family in this material world. They also had husbands, guardians, and other family members. So they were also engaged in various family activities. But because their relationship with Krishna was dominating, what was the result of this dominating consciousness in them? The result was Na puna kalpate rajan. Oh Parikshit, Rajan, Na puna kalpate samsara ajnana sambhavaha. They never took birth again in this material world after they gave up their bodies. Because ajnana sambhavaha, this material relationship is simply an exhibition of ignorance of one's true self. Material attachment to material relationships, material activities simply tells that such a person is in deep ignorance of his true self. But the gopis, even though they were engaged in all household activities, and they were even affectionate and kind and loving to their family members, yet Prabhupada says that their central affection was for Krishna in some transcendental relationship. So this is an important point to be noted, especially for those who are householders or those who are in bodily concept of life, absorbed in thinking that I am this body and nothing more than this body. So coming to this verse now, so Krishna drank milk to his full satisfaction from the breasts of all the elderly gopis, who showered so much of motherly love upon Krishna. Therefore, Krishna reciprocated to their love and devotion. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explains, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiham. I reciprocate as you surrender unto me, or as you relate unto me. I reciprocate. So if you desire my company, my love, my affection, surely I am available for such a person. But if you don't desire my company, my association, I will step back also. I will become neutral. And therefore the Lord is present in all the hearts of the living beings as Paramatma in a neutral way. He is in a passive state. Paramatma is in a passive state. He is active only for those who want to actively relate with the Lord. Otherwise, silently, Paramatma will direct all the activities of the living entities. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, Krishna says, Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. I direct the wanderings of all living entities in this world. But Krishna remains neutral and silent. He doesn't actively involve in the living entity's life, but for his devotee. For his devotee, he actively participates in the devotee's life, because the devotees want Krishna's involvement fully. So much so that actually those who are devotees, They are the ones who have fully awakened their relationship with Krishna. Technically, he is called a devotee. Technically. Now, we are called devotees in the practice stage. You can say apprentice. Like we say apprenticeship. So, we are devotees in apprenticeship status. That's our present status. But actually, devotee means he is already in relationship with the Supreme Lord. But that relationship is different from the relationship which you and I know in this world, in our experience. Should not confuse both. Transcendental relationship versus material relationship is the central theme of this verse today. Transcendental relationships versus material relationships all look alike, but there's a world of difference. One is simply Ajnana Sambhavaha. Prabhupada says here. A consciousness, Ajnana Sambhavaha, such a consciousness awakens in ignorance. Here is my son, here is my wife, here is my lover, here is my friend. These material relationships among the living entities minus Krishna. Underline this, I'll come to this point. These material relationships among the different living entities minus Krishna. Now you hear. One who thinks, here is my son, here is my wife, here is my lover, here is my friend. These relationships are temporary illusions. Ajnana Sambhavaha. Such a consciousness awakens in ignorance. So these relationships are manifesting from ignorance. There are also relationships which manifest from knowledge of your identity with Krishna. And they are transcendental, eternal, real relationships, as opposed to temporary, illusory relationships in this material world. The entire nectar of devotion, which was very kindly written by Rupa Goswami, one of the chief disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the entire subject matter of nectar of devotion is this. And one must read this book. One has to get out of this ignorance of material relationships. Simply coming under the influence of temporary illusions. Why should we be under the influence of temporary illusion? Why not come to eternal reality? After all, anything which is illusion has no substance really. So why should we be after something which has no substance? This is what Vyasadeva says in the very first verse of Bhagavatam also. He opens the Bhagavatam verse with that. This Bhagavatam, in this Bhagavatam, all illusions are kept away. No illusions. No illusory statements or descriptions or discussions. It is kept out of the book of Srimad Bhagavatam. There's no place for illusion. Illusory representations in Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva has kicked it out of this Bhagavatam literature. So, Prabhupada says samsara. Very nice definitions Prabhupada gives. Samsara refers to attachment to one's body, home, husband, wife, children. How Prabhupada defines samsara? Samsara means one is cycle of birth and death. Samsara also means if we are attached to your body and with reference to the body, the home, husband and wife. There's a difference. with a reference to this body, you connect to home, husband, wife, children. That is Ajnana Sambhavaha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given an alternative for this. Krishnere samsara kara. Why don't you create a family with Krishna? Krishnere samsara kara. To be away from family is next to impossibility, which is actually a fact. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur suggests, Krishnere samsara kara. Please join the family of Krishna. Because you cannot be family-less. Not possible. A jiva cannot be without the shelter of someone. And that is the central point in family life. You are depending on somebody. Primarily to share your feelings. To share your love. A jiva is not a stone. A living entity is not a stone. Cannot be desireless. The very symptom of jiva means, living entity means, to desire, to relate. Cannot be desireless, cannot be shelterless. Therefore, in this material world, we always seek relationship with someone. We always seek relationship. We always desire relationship. And there is no enjoyment without relationship. Any kind of enjoyment is always with a partner. The partner can be a friend, can be a master, can be husband or wife, can be parents. But there must be a partner to relate, to enjoy. Otherwise, there is no enjoyment. So therefore, we are seeking in this world, the jiva is hunger for these relationships. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, why don't we relate with Krishna's family? For which chadi anachar, one should give up sinful life, sinful activities. Otherwise, you cannot join Krishna's family. You can pick up some family from this world, but not Krishna's family. So we should know, therefore all material relationships are ajnana sambhavaha. That doesn't mean we should not have a relationship. As I said, constitutionally, the soul is connected with the Supreme Lord. Actually, we have forgotten that. Therefore, in ignorance, we are seeking material relationships in context with this material body. Whom do we refer as brother, son, lover? In context to this body. A bag, a skin bag. A skin bag. But you neither see your Atma, nor you see another person's Atma. Where is the relationship? Only soul can relate with a soul. Matter cannot relate with matter. There's no relationship of matter and matter. There's only relationship among souls, or even soul and matter, but not matter and matter. But we don't even realize that we are a soul. That's the question of relationship then. Therefore, it is simply illusory. We only know this body. We know other people's bodies. It is simply a display of ignorance. Of the self. Self means Atma. We, all the living beings, are originally connected with the Supreme Lord. And that is the central point of Bhagavad Gita. The central theme of Bhagavad Gita is how each living entity is connected eternally and lovingly with the Supreme Lord, Krishna. And that is elaborated in Nectar of Devotion. In what all ways they are connected, that is the subject matter of Nectar of Devotion. But Bhagavad Gita gives only a hint, only a clue. Little, only a glimpse. Little Krishna explains, you are all my part and parcel. Mama amsha jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha. You're eternally related with me, connected with me. Krishna says. Krishna gave a hint in 2 words, which we repeatedly quote also in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, text number 3. One of the most famous verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhakto sime saka cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. Krishna says, this most confidential knowledge I am revealing to you, O Arjuna, today, because you are my devotee and you are connected with me as a friend, related with me as a friend. Therefore, I reveal this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to you. Bhagavad Gita is the knowledge of one's relationship with Krishna. This is how Prabhupada explains. Actually, Krishna explains like that. Has anybody ever explained like this? What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita in one line means, Bhagavad Gita means describing, revealing your particular relationship with Krishna. Every living entity's relationship with Krishna. That you have got personally a relationship with Krishna. This is a very great revelation. And this revelation actually shows Krishna's extreme mercy upon his part and parcel living entity. Actually, it's Krishna's extreme kindness. Karuna Sindhu. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. That aspect of Karuna Sindhu is by Krishna's revelation. Oh, why should Krishna reveal? We are struggling in this world, suffer. What for Krishna? Suffer. But by knowing this identity, relationship with Krishna, you end your life of suffering. So how do you end the life of suffering? Very simple. There's only one thing we have to do. So long you have disassociated with Krishna, forgotten your connection with Krishna, the life of misery begins. Life of suffering begins. What is the origin of suffering? This is the origin of suffering. Any kind of suffering, all kinds of suffering. You may have different kinds of suffering. Details may be there. But the essence is because of we cutting off our relationship with Krishna. We are suffering in this world. And therefore, how to put an end to suffering? Very simple. We have to re-establish, revive our eternal loving relationship with Krishna. That's all. All your suffering ends. All your suffering ends. But the jiva, without knowing this, is attempting in million and one ways how to become satisfied. There's a hunt going on for satisfaction. Satisfaction hunt. Everybody is hankering, struggling to remain satisfied, to become happy, to become joyful. But they're not getting. And therefore the jiva becomes frustrated, depressed. So nectar of devotion or Bhagavatam provides us with the information. Where is the source of all joy? Krishna. Once you get related with Krishna, immediately you become free from all anxiety, all suffering. So here we see Krishna, coming back to this verse. Now Krishna drank milk from the gopis to his full satisfaction. This is very interesting to note. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani, in the 3rd chapter. Krishna says that nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything. See, 2 things. Na anavaptam, na avaptam. That means, I am not in want of anything, nor I am in need of anything. See, 2 points to note. Krishna is not in want and not in need. Yet, I am engaged in prescribed duty. So, although Krishna is not in want, not in need, still Krishna expresses his want and need from the gopis. I want to drink your milk. This is a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. There are 5 points we will discuss now to understand what is this need and want and this full satisfaction Krishna is expressing. So the first point is, the Lord is not in need of anything. Not in want of anything. Yet Krishna is desiring to drink the milk from the gopis. And is fully satisfied. God is fully satisfied. We should note that. The second point, Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Sarvalokameshwaram. Therefore, this is a pramana or a proof that he is not in need of anything, because everything belongs to him. Everything is his only. Therefore, there cannot be want or need for him. Everything belongs to him. The third point, Krishna is described as Atma Rama, fully self-satisfied. Then why is he expressing his satisfaction here and his want to drink gopis' milk from gopis? He is Atma Rama, yet he is expressing his desire. There's a common thread in all these points. I will sum up towards the end. You note with attention. And the fourth point is Nimvrita Tarshair Upagiyamanaha. It means for one who has become exhausted or who has finished off all material hankerings and material desires. Finished off. No more material desire. No more material hankering. No more material attraction, material attachment. He has no more material attraction, no more material attachments, no more material needs. One who has come to this state, Nivritta Tarshaihi. Trishna means hankering. Nivritta means to be free from. So Nivritta Trishna, Nivritta Tarshair means to become free from, become independent of. Not dependent on material needs, material desires, material necessities. Not dependent. Material life means material dependence. Liberation means free from material dependence of the bodily needs. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna is a material need. Demands of the material body. Eating, sleeping, sex life, or mating or family life, and defense or security or protection is a material need. In material consciousness. But one who is liberated from these needs is a devotee. So he is defined as a Nivritta Tarshi, Nivritta Tarshai. Such a person becomes interested in Krishna consciousness. Becomes interested to become related with Krishna. When you put an end to material relationship, then your spiritual relationship begins. When you put an end to material desire, your spiritual desires start manifesting. So long you are enamored by material relationships and overwhelmed by these material relationships, there is no place for spiritual relationship with Krishna. There's no scope. That's a very unfortunate state of the jiva. That he doesn't have the entrance, does not have entry or entrance to the most sublime relationship with his sublime Lord. How unfortunate the jiva must be. Just think about it. You cannot relate with Krishna, the most sublime, the supreme personality, but you have no relationship. How unfortunate. And conditioned souls who are bound by the three modes of material nature, because of their perverted desires, being influenced by the three modes, subjected to the influence of three modes because of their material desires, sinful desires. The jiva has degraded his status from spiritual to material position and seeking inferior material relationships. Krishna describes that in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. Does anybody know? Where does Krishna describe? Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti means inferior quality, as opposed to Para Prakriti, superior quality. So all material relationships, matter is inferior creation of God. Inferior in the sense of it creates an illusory effect and bewilders the living entity and diverts the living entity from his transcendental position and identity. Bewilders him from that particular context. Otherwise, by itself, matter is not inferior. Matter is also transcendental. It's a transcendental creation of God. If Krishna is transcendental, the absolute truth is transcendental, whatever emanates from absolute truth is also transcendental. Therefore, matter is not material. Strictly speaking, matter is not material. Your consciousness is material. Our consciousness is material. What do you mean by consciousness is material? It means, in simple words, because the living entity in his perverted state, forgetful state of Krishna consciousness, he wants to enjoy matter, lord over matter or material things. Therefore, it becomes inferior. This is what is the meaning of being inferior. When you try to enjoy matter for your pleasure, lord over matter or material nature for your pleasure, that is inferior and that is illusion. That means, beginning with the identity with your body, I am this body, and then everything connected with this body is mine for the purpose of self-enjoyment, independent of Krishna. In this context, it is illusory, it is temporary. It is simply exploitative. So the jiva is trying to search for, work for different kinds of relationships, for different kinds of enjoyments. Minus Krishna. That is material. That is illusory. Because the jiva is spiritual and he is seeking material pleasure. It's a mismatch. Incompatible. Prabhupada used the word incompatible. Incompatibility. Incompatibility. Spirit trying to seek enjoyment in matter. Incompatibility. So, one has to give up this incompatibility. Spirit should seek spiritual relationship for spiritual happiness. And that is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita and nectar of devotion. Even Bhagavatam. So this central point has to be understood. Otherwise, we will live our entire life in illusion, in ignorance. This is actually central point in spiritual life. Otherwise, all our spiritual practices becomes null and void for all practical purposes. We may be religious, we may be observing vratas, but they don't know for why should I be religious? Why should I observe vrata? Does anybody know? Why should we observe vrata? Why should we practice austerity? For what? What is austerity for? What is vrata for? What is religion for? What is the purpose? Okay, we are religious, we are pious, but what is the goal of being pious? What is the goal of being religious? So we don't think. Even I don't think anyway. The grace of Prabhupada, we are made to think. Or even if not made to think, at least, oh, okay, these things are there, is it? It strikes us. I think we don't even know. Whole life we'll be coming to temple, some mantra we will chant, some austerity we will take up. Why we don't know. Again, the same, we will do austerity, we will do pious activities, punya karma, and entangle ourselves in the same loop of material relationships and to reinforce our material identity, even in the name of religion and religious activities. What a misfortune. Practicing religion and going into Maya further. Practicing dharma and reinforcing bodily concept of life. Imagine what a contradiction. And this is what our religious life is generally all about. Because we practice religion for what? For some material benefits. Some good job, good family, good money, good house. Apparently seeking good material life. That means again you are reinforcing bodily concept of life. Not realizing anything about your spiritual identity. So, okay, karmi we understand. He is clear in his mind. I am karmi. But what about the religious people? Karmi at least, materialistic person at least has nothing much to do with God. But a religious man has something to do with God. But again back to material life only. The purpose is lost there. Then what is the difference between a religious man and a materialistic person? Finally it comes to the same point for both of them. So this difference has to be noted and observed. Otherwise we'll be practicing religious life, spiritual life, and still will be hooked to the material world only. In this regard, there is a very nice story, and I will end with this story. Prabhupada narrates this very interesting story, but very instructive story. It's called the anchor of attachment. The anchor of attachment. There was one marriage party. See, a lot of smiling faces now. So one marriage, because you cannot be without marriage, Our only objection is, we don't want illusory representations of true eternal life. We want true representations. And that is in the spiritual world, not the material world. It's only a perverted reflection. There's no real substance in the material world. So we don't want to be trapped by illusory representations in this world and become bewildered. That is spiritual life. So there was one marriage party. So the boy side is going for the marriage to the girl side. It was two different villages being separated by one small river. Okay. So this, the next day morning, today is 29th, right? So Sunday. Of course, their marriage was on Monday. Let's assume. It's after all a story. A real story. So, Monday was the marriage. So all the family members on the boys' side, they all got together, sat on the boat, and the boat started rowing. There's a boatman, started rowing the boat. And it was night time because early morning was the marriage. Maybe 6 or 7 a.m. So this marriage party, they were very tired. Marriage means lot of arrangements. Our marriage with Sankirtana, our devotees also slept little late, some of them, for arranging for all this Sankirtana festival. Sankirtana marriage. We have tied up a lot of devotees in the marriage to Sankirtana. So a lot of work, 6-7 hours work we put in yesterday. One day for this. Anyway, so this marriage means a lot of work. So they were naturally tired. So when they got into the boat, very soon they fell asleep. So they told the boatman about the address and where to reach. The boatman said, "Saab, चिंता मत करो, आप आराम से सो जाइए, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, आपको पहुंचा देगा. I'll reach you to the other side of the shore. Don't worry. You just relax." So then this party, they nicely slept. Nicely they slept. Quite good number of hours passed, and they were very refreshed after a good rest. They got up, and it was daylight. They're shocked to know they're in the same place. The boat has not moved even few feet ahead. They were like wonderstruck, shocked. What is this? We're in the same point where we started. So now, you think the marriage party will keep quiet? They were extremely angered and started yelling and shouting and screaming on the boatman. The boatman was wondering why these people are unnecessarily scolding at me. I am rowing only, no? And he said, and the two rowing pedals are there. He's still pedaling only. He's still rowing. And he said, "Can you see? I'm also kind of sweating. Can you see the tiredness in my face? You think I have slept off also and then cheated you? You can see the tiredness in my face, right? The exhaustion in my body, my limbs. I'm so tired and weak now. I have not cheated you." You're upsetting me, right? What is this? No, you have cheated us. You didn't row at all. You slept nicely, and few minutes before us, you got up. Then said, no. Then one intelligent person in the party, he was trying to think, okay, what could have gone wrong? Then he was analyzing, he was looking around. He saw that the anchor which the boat was anchored to the shore was not removed. And whole night he was rowing and rowing and rowing. The boat is in the same point. Oh my God. See, so much effort, but the anchor is still. So the boat is hooked to the anchor. So similarly, Prabhupada tells this story to tell, we may be doing a lot of spiritual practices, but if the anchor is in material world, is in material life, is in material relationship, is in material desire, material attachment, we are finished. We will make no progress. Still will be rowing in the same point. So we'll say after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, ಅದೇನೋ ಪ್ರಭು ಹಂಗೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಹಂಗೇನೆ ಇರೋದು, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಹುಕ್ಕು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು. ಬೇಡ ಪ್ರಭು, ಹುಕ್ಕು ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ. Then it is not going to work. You cannot have the best of both the lives. Material life and spiritual life, material relationship and spiritual relationship. No. You want relationship with the gopis, Radha, Krishna? You have to give up material relationship. Give doesn't mean forsaking. Give up means that attachment you should give up. There are many ways to do this. Doesn't mean that you quit. It means that you execute your responsibility But that anchor of attachment, material attachment, you give up and develop spiritual attachment to Krishna. While parallelly, if it is so, in the Varnashrama, you are a Grahastha, that's okay. If it so happens. If you're a Brahmachari or Sannyasi, different thing. But if it so happens, you are a Grahastha in the Varnashrama, you don't have to give up the family. In the physical sense, that attachment is the hook there. That moha. Oh, this is my eternal family, my eternal wife, my eternal husband. Yelu janma. Eppatu janma. Yelluru janma. Yelu savara janma. You are my wife. I am your husband. But today they will not make that statement. Because in 7 months also sometimes divorce is being applied. 7 days also divorce is being applied. There's no such attachment. So fortunately Kali Yuga has brought in some kind of detachment, but not because of spirituality. Then they will hunt for another companion. Because that hunger is still there of spiritual relationship. He does not know where to seek. He is seeking wrongly. And in the course, neglecting his material responsibilities also. Doubly he is a loser. Materially he is not executing his responsibility, and spiritually he has no idea. Doubly he is a loser. So therefore, the natural objects of affection, material relationships, husband, wife, children, nothing wrong. But we should not forget Krishna. And our dominant relationship must be with Krishna. And work for that. And even teach our wife, husband and children. Rishabhdev says that. That's our responsibility. Don't be attached to me in terms of the body. You are part and parcel of Krishna. I am part and parcel of Krishna. My son, your daughter is part and parcel of Krishna. And we have to seek eternal relationship there. Otherwise, we will feel sorry for losing that relationship. And in ignorance, we will lament. So the goal of the Krishna consciousness movement is actually to relate with Radha and Krishna, to go back to the kingdom of God and live in an eternal relationship of either son or parent or a friend or a master or a lover of God. This is a great transcendental blessing, to relate with the Supreme Lord directly. So this is what Bhagavatam is offering us, and we should take this message. And also, if at all we have affection for the family members, for the friends, for your master, or for your lover, you should show them this path. You also come. You have the best connection I will give you. I'll give you the best in your life. Best partner in your life I will give you. Best father I will give you. Best friend I will give you. Best lover I will give you. Best husband I will give you. Best wife I will give you. That is Krishna. So you have done the real welfare to your friend, relative, everyone. Otherwise, what is the welfare we have done? We'll stop here. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.